Hi, my name is Chip Kimball, and I'm doing a presentation today on the textiles of our world as part of the museum's Fabric of Our Lives exhibit. This loom is one that I donated to the museum, and it's from approximately the 1930s, and it's a really good example of how the Americans go about producing textiles. The spinning wheel here was donated by another individual. Spinning is the first part of any textile production. So part of what I'm going to be talking about today is different cultures across the world with some examples that I've brought of their textiles and how textiles helped change cultures and create cultures throughout the world. A weaving loom is a very simple way of taking individual threads and turning them into cloth. And this loom happens to be a 4-shaft loom, and when you press on the treadles, it allows individual shafts to raise, and you can put what's called a weft thread in between to create the weaving on this end. The individual threads are held over here, and then as you weave and you create cloth, it's then wound on this side over here. A few months ago, we had a family fun day here at the museum, and one of the things that we talked about was weaving. We had the kids put together some weaving projects, and I taught them how to use this loom, and so the weaving that's on the loom right now was actually done by the kids that came to the family fun day, which was great fun to teach them how to do it. We had several of them that were really engaged in the project.
I'm Jada, and I'm the collections archivist at the Tri-State Museum and Visitor Center. With our Fabric of Our Lives exhibit, we have an 1868 sewing machine, and it's a domestic. We also have a 1900 dress form that we just thought we would put together for the exhibit. And then we have sewing notions around each area that was loaned by different people. This is a 1930 Franklin sewing machine, and it was one of the first portables. It's so very interesting. It's just absolutely beautiful. And if you look at how this plug-in goes into the foot pedal, is very interesting, and you can tell it's quite old. This one was a loan from Bill Stone, and it is a 1930s domestic. And one of the reasons that I wanted to put this one in the exhibit versus some of the other ones is because of our 1868 domestic, and so they're kind of like a match set. And in each one of the exhibits, we have a spot where you can feel the different kind of material that coincides with the storyboards. Here we have a 1898 Elgin sewing machine. Of course, it was a treadle, and the decorations on it is just amazing to me. I don't know if it's painted or if it's like stickers, but it's kind of raised. Very pretty. This one over here is a 1938 Opus Brother that, again, is one of the first portable ones that you plugged in. In this area, we have our weaving and our knitting. This is a Gerhardt knitting machine. It was made in 1914, and it was loaned by Bruce Udy. And what they did is they would sell this unit for $35. They would send you $5 worth of yarn, and then you could have your own home business, and you would knit socks for the company, and you got a whopping $1.50 for 12 pairs of socks that you knitted. Most of everything in this case is old patterns. I have patterns start in the 40s and goes up to the 90s. I have a couple of different pieces of material that I have not been able to identify, so if you come into the museum, it would be wonderful if you could help me identify it. I have this scarf here from South Dakota, and I think it's like about a 1920 souvenir scarf, and it's very interesting to see. The machine on top here is a 1950s Montgomery Ward, and it was kind of odd because when the electric sewing machines, the portable ones, came into play, there was it was just a massive run to every company wanted to make sure that they had one. And then we have different sewing notions and a couple of other sewing machines down on the bottom. The one is probably one of the first digitalized and like more of a computer type of a sewing machine. And that one is a 1980s model. This case is our last case that rounds up our exhibit. We have some fun pieces of material that you can handle. We have a baby singer that was in 1940s. We have it looks like a toy sewing machine, but it actually does sew. And it was in 1945, very small, very lightweight. And then we have some different sewing notions and some material that had been weaved by a business in Montana.